Good morning. Hi. I think so. Little button over here. Yeah, okay, it says I'm live now. Thank you. Good morning. My name is Terry Morgan. It's Tuesday. It's Tuesday, December 1st, 2020. We are here to practice Tai Chi. Today, we're going to focus on connections. Not that one. Okay, we're going to focus on internal connections as well as the external connections. So, outer body, shoulders with the hips, hands with the feet, elbows with the knees. We're going to pay attention to all of that today, as well as I said, the internal connections. I want to mention briefly that part of what I'm doing today is, I guess, going to be kind of a preview of some of what I'm going to be doing on Tuesday come January, middle of January. I'll work on the date. Okay, so my plan is that I'm going to change what I'm doing here in the morning. Monday and Tuesday will be Tai Chi. On Monday, I'm going to focus on the basics. On Tuesday, I'm going to add in a little more spice, a little more of the advanced work. I'm going to stick with the same forms, mostly. So there won't be any changes in the physical movement compared to what we're doing now. But the kinds of things that we're doing today, the kinds of things that I'm doing from last week, which is setting forth some particular focus for the week, that will continue. On Wednesday, I'm going to move to a set of basic exercises from Wudang, 3 basic methods. They're not easy. All right? And I'm also going to, so it's going to be a lot more physical stuff. Also on Wednesday, I'm going to add in a couple of sets that are intended to strengthen the body and strengthen the legs, right? So we do a lot of leg work and a lot of work with the body. Not so much upper body work, so that's the nature of what I'm teaching. On Thursday, I'm going to start teaching Xing Yi. This is translates as form mind boxing. The 5 elements, connecting form. Many of the principles are similar. It's also an internal art, so many of the principles are similar to what we're doing in Tai Chi and in a Qigong practice. On Friday, we'll have Qigong practice, and I'm still deciding whether or not to have an alternating week, so that one week is the easier sets, 1 through 9, and the more difficult sets, 10 through 18, the alternating week. That's my current thought. Not 100% sure on that, but that's my current thought. So today, with this inside-outside connections, the outside connections are relatively easy. The inside ones take a little bit more practice. So let's do that. Let's practice with the stretches, and then I'll talk about this just a little bit as we practice, and then we'll go through a couple of exercises that focus on these particular principles, and I'll practice the form. Okay, so the idea, same as what I talked about yesterday, this idea of connecting the body, that everything is connected through the outer body and through the inner body. So the inner body, right now we're talking about the breath, so that your breathing is not impeding your movement. The breath should be in harmony with the movement. The breath should be partly driving the movement. But at first, the first goal, the first step, is so that your breathing does not impede your movement. Okay? Breath, the chi, your inner energy, and the mind. The mind directs the chi, the breath follows the chi. Outside, this idea of smooth, continuous movement, that there's a circle, that it's big, that it's continuous, that it's smooth, and there are no rough spots along that circle. Difficult to achieve, that's what we're working for. Yeah. No, I'm gonna face this way today. Let's try this direction. All right, feet about shoulder width apart. Stand straight. Pull up through the crown of the head. Relax the back. Open the Mingmen in the center, in the lower back. Tuck the chin just a little bit. Pull up through the neck spine. Open the Yijin, the center at the base of the skull, where the skull connects to the neck spine. Relax the shoulders and open the back. Open the Taiji. In between the shoulder blades, pull up. Hand circle to front. Return to both sides. Up along the center line. Extend. Bend the knees. Reach out over the legs. Try not to sit back. And I'm going to show that in just a second. Not there yet. Smooth and continuous, yes? Okay. Now try not to do this. Okay? Not a good, no, don't do that. Now, as you extend, pull up, stay straight. The bend is at the hip. The hip doesn't go backward. The hip stays and turns over the legs. Roll up through the spine, one vertebra at a time. Reach out. Roll up. Extend. Reach through the body. Keep the shoulders down. One more time. Reach out. And roll up. Elbows drop down. Inward. Fingertips. Follow your fingertips down. Roll down. Try to release any tension, especially in the upper and the middle back, so that as you roll down, you actually roll instead of folding. 2 more. And last time. Inward. Follow your fingertips down. Reach out. And return to center. Now I'm going to talk just a little bit about what I have in mind, or what I mean by a couple of these things very quickly, and then we'll move on to the next set. All right. As we extend over, and I'm going to call this out for the next sets that we're doing, the outward inward set. As you extend over, and this is, let me go that way. There we go. All right, this is actually pretty easy to see from this angle. Okay, as I go out this way, I don't want to go back this way. There's nothing for me to sit on back there, okay? This is not a sitting exercise. So as I reach out, this doesn't go back, it stays. And I'm going over the legs, right? So the hip rolls over the legs. Know this. Yes. No. Right? Okay, so don't sit back as you go over. It's harder to do. This has to pull up. So the lower ab, all of these muscles in here, pull in and up to support the torso, rolling over the hip. As we roll down, this has to pull in and up in order for this part of the back to, this pulls in and up to support this part of the back so that you can open the vertebra to roll over. It's a very different thing than bending over. Okay? So bending over, I'm here. All right? I bent over. Rolling over. Looks different. It should feel different. It's supposed to. The goal is to open the vertebrae. Gently. Very, very gently. Always be gentle with your back. Trust me. I know about things that can happen. And some of it's recorded. Be gentle. That's why one hold here. That's why all of this needs to support what we're doing with the back. Left side, right side. Feet about shoulder width apart. Hands up in front, breathe in. Breathe out. Up along the center line. Turn. Again, pull up. Open the space between your leg and your hip. Open the space between your hip and your ribs. Pull up. Come center. Other side. Reach out. Pull up. Don't sit back. Reach out over the legs, bend the knees. One more time. Come center. Okay. Outward, inward. Don't sit back. As you go over, as we roll inward, pull up and open the back. Hand circle to the front. Return to both sides. Up along center line. Reach up. Stretch out. Don't sit back. Pull up. Extend upward. Elbows drop down. Wrist, fingertips. Draw your fingertips down. Pull up. Roll. Roll through the back. Open the upper back. Roll. And reach out. And come to center. Do it again. Up. Pull in. Pull up. Open the hip. Open the waist. Reach out. Stretch up. Fingertips down, roll down, pull up, pull in, support the back, roll down. Come center. One more time. Reach out. Extend up. Roll down. Pull in. Pull up. Roll through the back. Reach out. Come to center. Hands return to your sides. Okay, this kind of focus is extremely useful for all of our practice. I'm going to pause just a minute on this idea of the connections and so forth to pay attention to balance as we do our stepping exercises. So, body placement should be correct. And here, before we start, one little thing, because I need to talk about this. Here's one place where one of the outer connections is going to make a huge difference in how we do this particular exercise. And that connection is the hip and the shoulder. So you have the hip and the shoulder, the elbow and the knee, the hands with the feet. In this case, we're putting our hands behind our back, so we're not using them. I'm going to talk about that after a bit. As we do this set, if we keep the shoulders and the hips well aligned and in a good relationship with each other via the waist, right? And a good relationship with each other means that they're in balance. That one's not going faster than the other, that you're not leaning forward, you're not sitting back, it's right in balance. And in this case, that all balances over the heel of the supporting foot. Right? Center of the heel, not the back of the heel, center of the heel. Feet about shoulder width apart. Stand straight. Center of the heel, not the back of the heel. Shift left, open right. Transfer the weight. Use the leg. Extend, place the foot. Push forward. Shift back. Again, shoulders with the hip. Hip to the heel. Good alignment. Circle the foot. Hey, my knee's a little wobbly, but it'll be alright. And shift. Good alignment again. Pay attention. We're going a little bit slower, so it's harder to do. If I increase the speed here a little bit, it would be much easier. We're focused on balance right now. Find that balance point. Step through. And backward. Again, find that balance point. Make sure you know where you put your toe. And turn. Balance. And back. Shift. And turn. Balance. Back. Turn. One more. Shift. Back. Turn. Yeah, I went wide on that because I don't think I have much space behind me here. And shift. Stand straight. Yeah, I was pretty close, yeah. Okay, so this idea of these inner and outer connections as we practice the form. Outside, shoulders with the hips, elbows with the knees, hands with the feet. If I exaggerate this, and it's not all that big of an exaggeration really, but if I exaggerate this, imagine that I have a string connecting my hand and my foot. So that as I move, if I take the foot up, my hand can go up or it can stay there. It's going to come down. They're going to coordinate with each other. Everything goes somehow together, right? So extend, come together, turn, hand and foot, right? Same on the other side. Elbows with the knees. This is partly for what we're paying attention to right now, similar to what we want to do with the shoulders and the hips, and that is place them in good alignment. What is that good alignment? Well, if my knee is out over here and my elbow's up over here, I'm not in a position to do very much of anything with this, right? I can't. I'm pretty much, that's done. I'm done. All right? However, elbow here, knee here. Oh, now I could do something. Even if I'm not accounting for this side, right? So, good alignment, hands and feet, elbows with the knees, shoulders with the hips, which is what we just worked on. The connection between the shoulders and the hips is the waist, right? So as the waist turns, so can the upper body and the lower body. So if I'm turning my shoulders this way, and I'm turning my hips that way, now, okay, I can do that in Bagua. I can do a twisted stance in Bagua, but it's not that one. Okay, it's different. All right, so I want to connect, even with that twist, I'm going to connect the shoulders and the hips. I don't want the hips over here and the shoulders out over here somewhere, right? Same for front and back. I don't want my shoulders up here and my hips out back here. I want my shoulders and my hips lined up with each other. And they stay in that relationship, that alignment, throughout. Bending, twisting, turning, doesn't matter. That connection between the shoulders and the hips, elbows and the knees, hands and the feet, upper body, lower body, that persists. Let's practice. Pay attention to the outer connections right now. Just the outer connections. Feet together, stand straight. Pull up through the crown of the head. Hands with the feet, elbows with the knees, shoulders with the hips. Upper body connect to lower body through the waist. Breathe in. Salute. Breathe out. Breathe in. All the way on the right. Breathe out. Center. Arms up. Connect the upper body and the lower body. Elbow with the knee, hand with the foot, shoulder with the hip, hand and foot, hand and foot, elbow in the knee, shoulder in the hip. Turn, pull down, press, focus on the connections, push, single whip, and shift, raise your hands, turn, white crane spreads its wings, brush knee, step up, hand strum the loop, brush knee, shift back, deflect downward, parry, and punch. Shift back, close the door. Turn, crossing hands. Turn. Diagonal brush knee. Connect. And turn. Turn the waist. Shift back. Upper body connect to the lower body. And shift back. Push. Use the back leg. Turn. Both hands press out. Turn. Push back the monkey. Reach out. Step back. Hold the ball. Step behind. Diagonal flying. Shift. Step up. Raise your hands. Turn. The white crane spreads its wings. Turn. Brush knee. Step up. Needle at sea bottom. Step through. Band through the back. Turn. Hold fist. Punch 1, 2. Deflect downward. Parry. And punch. Shift back. Ward off left side, pull down right side. Step through. Ward off right side, pull down left side. Turn. Turn the waist. Pull down. Press. And push. Turn. Single whip. Both hands open. Turn the left foot. Right foot comes parallel. Both hands press down. Stand straight. Salute. Left foot closes in. Stay there. Okay, couple things that I'm going to talk about. Get a sip of coffee. Talked a lot this morning. There are quite a few things going on that are not physically apparent and are not obvious, particularly to someone who has never practiced, they've never done any of this. And it's made all the more difficult because of we're doing this in video, we're not in person. So, yeah, there's that. Alright, so I'm going to call something that I just did, and then we're going to practice again, and we're going to pay attention to this other aspect that I called out this morning, this idea of the internal connections. Just now, as we're practicing, I called through the names of the movements. We turned around, and I was over here, alright? We just did diagonal brush knee, and we came around, and I came around, turned around here, and I said, this is push back the monkey. That was not correct. I was thinking to move ahead. The next move after that is push back the monkey. That is fist under the elbow. Alright? So we're here, turn here, fist under the elbow. Now we're going to push back the monkey. Alright? I want to make that clear just because. There might be somebody who's watching this for the very first time, never seen any of my other stuff, and would think that, yeah. So, my correction. Alright. This inside-outside connection. We just practiced, went through this one time. It's not an instant. You can know it, you can understand it, You can still not be able to do it. And that's okay. That's what you're working for. This is not the kind of thing, this kind of practice is not the kind of thing that once you know it as an adult, once we know something, we expect, okay, I can do this, right? I know how to read music. I know what the keys are on a piano. I can't play. Not, I play at it, but I don't play. I won't make any claim to playing. All right, so Taiji, that's another matter for me. I know how to play that. All right, so my point. These exercises that we're doing and some of the concepts that I'm introducing, even when you know what they are, I understand what she means. I get it. Why can't I do it? Who? I can't do it. It takes practice. It really does. If you think about it as being, and I think about myself in this way and a lot of the things that I've learned, you think about it as being an infant. Baby doesn't know how to do much of anything, right? As baby gets a little bit older, baby learns how to roll over, right? It's a big deal. It's a big deal. You come in and say, wait, the baby rolled over. What happened? Right? And then baby starts climbing out of the crib. That's even more fun. So progress, right? There's progress. So we have to do the same thing in our practice. It's not instant, it's not magic, it's let's work on it again, and we'll work on it again, and we'll work on it again, and we're going to work on it again. And everybody brings all of these elements together at their own time, in their own way, in their own space. That light bulb will go off. If you continue to practice, it will, that day will come when you're practicing and you're working at some of these things and all of a sudden it's there. It's just there. Second set, mind, breath, and chi. Chi is the energy that we extend through the body. Breath, yeah, ordinary breath, respiration, inhale, exhale. What do we do with the breath, right? With the breath connected to the movement, right? I'm going to use Panglu Jian from the beginning part of the form. And yeah, then I'll start this way so it's the same direction. And I'm going to use audio, and my own audio, for the breathing. Hu, Shi. In Mandarin, Hu Shi is breath. You're breathing. Okay? 他的呼吸有点快. Breath is a little rapid, right? Typical phrase. Hu is a breathe in. Shi is a breathe out. Let me step back. Starting from our open position, Hu You will also notice that there is space between the breath. Not going to talk about that today. It exists, it's useful, it needs to be there. Paying attention to how the breath connects to the movement is what we want to do. Using the mind to focus the breath so that we can connect it to the movement. And then using the mind to direct the chi to extend through the body together with the breath so that the movement mirrors the breath. Let's practice. Stand straight. Focus on the connection. Inside. Mind. And the chi, your energy, with the breath. Outside. Shoulders with the hips. Elbows with the knees, hands with the feet. Upper body connected with the lower body, open the waist. Salute. Breathe in. Breathe out. Open. Breathe in, arms up. And yeah. Shift. Step through. Turn. Step through. Turn. Shift back. Press. And push. Turn. Single whip. Turn. Hand circle in. Raise your hands. Turn. White crane spreads its wings. Sink. Turn. Fresh knee. Step up. Hands from the loop. Sink. Fresh knee. Shift back. Hip leg downward. Parry. And punch. Shift back. Close door. Turn. Crossing hands. Turn. Diagonal brush knee. See the movement in your mind. See the movement just before you do it. Focus on the circle and the breath. Turn. Push out. Turn. Fist under the elbow. Reach out. Step back. Push back the monkey. Pull in. Hold ball. Step behind. Diagonal climb. Shift back. Raise your hands. Turn. White crane spreads its wings. Turn. Fresh knee. Step up. Hands strum the loop. Step through. Fan through the back. Turn. Hold the fist. And chop. 1, 2, 3. Deflect downward. Parry. And punch. Shift back. Ward off. Step through. Grasp the bird's tail. Pull down. Press. Push. Turn. Single whip. And both hands open. Come to center. Press down. Close the left. Salute. Stay there. Alright, so this idea of these inner and outer connections, this is something that can take a few minutes to explain, sort of. And it can take a few months and sometimes even a few years to learn how to do it. Mastering it is part of what we work towards. That's what we're trying to do. So it's not like we're, all of a sudden I can, I use piano a lot. It's not all of a sudden I can just sit down and play Chopin. It's not going to happen. It's practice. How we practice, what we practice, matters a lot to what we're going to actually end up with. It's, I could start with tomatoes and onions and green pepper, and I could make chili or I could make spaghetti sauce, depending. I could actually, there's about 4 or 5 different other things that I could make with that, but just the idea. So as we're bringing these different ingredients, so to speak, together in our Tai Chi practice, the inner connections, the outer connections, it's not, I'm going to put all of this in a pot and all of a sudden it's all going to be done. You make a good spaghetti sauce, it might take a couple of days. Mom's chili was always best the 3rd day after she made it. I'm not saying, yes, it was. She made good chili. All right, so we have to do the same thing in our practice. You bring all of the elements together, practice them, let it marinate a little bit, right? And then keep coming back to these foundation elements so that our practice remains correct, that we don't go off into some rabbit hole somewhere and start doing some odd things. You focus on foundations, that doesn't happen. Alright? And you gain the benefit from those foundations, which is substantial. Tomorrow we're going to do this a little bit more. I'll have a slightly different focus tomorrow, but this is the connections week. I appreciate you being here. I really do. I understand that some of this is difficult, especially the movement is difficult to learn via video. As I give new movements, give more explanation, there's always the opportunity to go back and review those. And as I'm adding more of the internal work, which the only way for me to do it is to explain it. And then I can show it, but I'm not entirely sure you can see what I'm doing. All right, and even if you can, there's sometimes some things I'm doing that you're not going to understand unless I explain it to you. Once you understand what it is, and oh yeah, hey. But there's that. So I'll be back here tomorrow. More Tai Chi. Thursday and Friday this week, Qigong. I will see you then. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it.